Welcome back to Tabletop Assault. I'm Ross, and today I'm going to continue my segments on looking at the Chaos Space Marine Codex. Today we're going to be speaking about the Daemon Prince, and oh boy am I excited to speak about this one. How this usually works is I begin by having a look at their sort of statistics, what they've got, along then with war gear and special rules. After that I give you a sort of my preferred sort of loadouts I like for Daemon Princes and units in general. Artifacts if they can take them, which Daemon Prince can. Legion traits that are preferable for the units. Warlord traits if applicable. And psychic powers, which again they can use. And stratagems, which there's, Daemon Princes don't have so many options as others. But yeah, I go into analyse all them. So with that, let's have a look at the Daemon Prince stats. Daemon Prince has a movement value of 8, awesome, and it can get better, which is even better. Weapon skill and ballistic skill 2+, as you'd kind of expect. You know, if it was anything less I'd be disappointed, so great, always very handy. Strength 7, which is really nice, really helpful. Could be higher and there's ways to get it, which makes it even more deadly. Toughness 6, a little bit squishier than I'd hoped, but again toughness 6 is really nice, very handy to have. 8 wounds, which is really nice because I think at one point it was like 10 wounds, I could be wrong in that, and it could be targeted. Having a bit lower wounds means that you can't be targeted, which is very handy. 4 attacks, which is criminal. I think in other comments we had one of the guys say, and forgive me for not remembering your name, but it was brought up that it's criminal that Chaos Lords only have 4 attacks. Well, so does Daemon Prince. Technically kind of 5 with its Malefic Talon, but 4 seems a little bit low for me. Yeah, I've got ways to maximise that a wee bit better, but 4 seems a bit criminal. I'd say 5 and hopefully 6 would be nice, but you know, you can't always get what you want. And leadership 10, so super brave. You know, again, it's not going to unit, so it's not going to run away, but it just means psychic abilities that do focus on these are going to have a harder time. And a 3+ save. Is a Daemon Prince, he's not rolling about in Terminator armour, he's kind of big for that, he's not going to fit. But again, there is one way to make that a bit better, but would it be nice to be 2+? Yeah, but maybe asking for a bit much there. In terms of war gear, Daemon Prince is armed with Hellforged Sword and a set of Malefic Talons. What's the stats on each of the weapons? We'll go into them because there's a few options. Warp Bolter, which is range 24. This is its sort of ranged weapon, which I think is new to 8th. Range 24, Assault 2, Strength 4, -1 AP and 2 damage. Nice wee weapon. I keep forgetting about these, but you know what? Assault 2, 24 inches and 2 damage. That can be a pain. For its points, that's really awesome. Demonic Axe, which is a melee weapon, +1 strength, bringing you to that mighty strength 8, which I'm going to stress a lot in this review, is kind of important. -3 AP, which is really nice, and 3 damage. When attacking with this weapon, you must subtract 1 from hit rolls. So Daemon Prince usually hits in 2+, means you're going to be hitting 3s, get to reroll 1s, means those infamous 2s, which I'm notorious for, are going to be dreaded. I'll go into a bit more later. Hellforged Sword, which is another melee weapon, I believe this is the one it comes stock with. Strength user, so strength 7, -2 AP and 3 damage. So again, a high amount of damage, and you're losing the strength and AP bonus, but you are meaning you're going to hit in 2s, rerolling 1s, which again is really nice, but you keep that 3 damage. And then Malefic Talons, my personal favourite. Strength user, so strength 7, -2 AP, so same as the Hellforged Sword. 2 damage, so not as high damage as the rest of them. However, each time this model fights, it can make 1 additional attack with this weapon. A model armed with 2 sets of Malefic Talons can make 3 additional attacks with them instead. So that brings you up to 7 attacks. Hit on 2s, rerolling 1s, strength 7. Really nice. I really like that a lot. So you can essentially exchange the Hellforged Sword for a Daemon Axe or another set of Malefic Talons. That's how the sort of switch up goes. You can take a Warp Bolter, And you can give it wings, which is an increase in points cost, +1 power, but you get a 12-inch movement. And I highly recommend wings. Get an extra 4 inches. You know, sometimes you don't want Daemon Prince going up front because it will get targeted. It will get targeted. But having an extra movement just gives it a lot more threat. So abilities to have, Death to the False Emperor. Not going to explain it because it's really, really long. But basically, if you're against Imperials, any 6 to hit, 6+ to hit, you get to make an additional attack. Very helpful on Daemon Princes. Demonic, so it has 5-up invul. 5-up invul is nice. Having the demon keyword is sometimes not nice, but 5-up invul is super awesome. Demonic Allegiance, when you include a Daemon Prince in your army, you must choose which of the 4 Chaos Gods it owes its allegiance: Khorne, Tzeentch, Nurgle and Slaanesh. It then gains the appropriate keyword. Prince of Chaos, you can reroll hit rolls of 1 made for this friendly Legion units within 6 inches of this model. This ability also affects friendly demon units within 6 inches, but only if they owe their allegiance to the same Chaos God, e.g. Khorne demons, demon units are only affected by Khorne Demon Princes. Really nice to have that aura ability to reroll hits, very handy on the Demon Prince himself. What I would know though is that it says, you know, but only if they owe their demon units, but only if they owe their allegiance to the same Chaos God. So, by my understanding of that, that means if you take, I think, Warp Talons, which I'm 90% sure are demons, he says, he has a look. Warp Talons are indeed demons, and Possessed, which are 90% sure demons. Yep. That to me says if they've got a different demon keyword, that although you may be the same legion, it says only if they owe the same allegiance to the gods. So if you are mixing up gods, be careful, because I would argue then no, if you're different ones, you don't get it, even though you're same legion. Let me know what you think on that one, but it's just that, but only if they owe the same. So that's interesting, something to be aware of on that one. And Might over Magic, a Daemon Prince of Khorne increases its attack characteristic by 1. Wow, Khorne Daemon Prince, you know, you get 1 extra attack, that brings you to that mighty 5. But you give up all psychic abilities and you deny. I think that should have been maybe 2, 3. In my eyes, you're giving up a big lot of options with psychic abilities, which I will go into. A Daemon Prince of Tzeentch, Nurgle or Slaanesh gains the Psyker keyword. It can attempt to manifest 1 psychic power in each friendly psychic phase and attempt to deny 1 psychic power in each enemy psychic phase. It knows Smite psychic power and 1 psychic power from the Dark Hereticus discipline. Psychic abilities really work well for Daemon Princes. There's 2 in particular that are awesome, and I'll go into them in the sort of Psychic Dark Hereticus part where I discuss the benefits of them. So that's sort of what you see in the book. What do I recommend then? So I'm going to go with my loadout suggestions and why I think they are particularly good. So the first one is, I am here to tear you apart. Malefic Talons dual wielding. Let's start off with my favourite loadout, dual Malefic Talons. Essentially grant the Daemon Prince 3 extra attacks, bring it up to 7 base, which is more in line where I think it should be. Where the other options have slightly higher damage, higher strength, which can be important, I like this option best for its versatility. Being able to move fast if you're flying, which you almost always should be. Then you can pick some of the weaker targets in your opponent's force that may pose a threat. Chasing after Devastators, which pray your Overwatch doesn't get you, and they're likely to swoop down and swap them apart. Just watch out for that Overwatch, but there may be other vulnerable units that you want to tear apart equally. Plus there's abilities and those ways that I'm going to discuss to get to that important Strength 8, which works really well for Malefic Talons. Because you kind of want to wound most things in a 2+ with Daemon Prince if given the chance. Next one is, I am here to hurt, but I don't want to miss. Hellforged Sword. So with this weapon you're exchanging the 3 attacks, though you still get 1 technically because you still have the Malefic Talon. So technically you give up 2 extra attacks, but with the 4 attacks you get 3 damage. Again, another viable option if you know you may face forces that have a lot more wounds characteristics, so say Custodians. That extra 1 damage may be, may tempt you to also go for vehicles, to maximise the amount of damage you can do, but wounding most vehicles if you're still strength 7 on a 4+, you know, unless you're fighting like Dark Elder or something, and heavier ones on a 5+, makes me go, is that extra damage worth it, or do I still want to just go for a bit of infantry? Without getting buffed by means, I'm more tempted to take the Malefic Talons over the Hellforged Sword. Next one is, I'm really here to hurt you, and never roll 2s, Demonic Axe. So this is an interesting option. +1 strength is really good because that means you're wounding toughness 4 on 2+, toughness 7 on 3+, etc, etc. 1 better AP and 3 damage. What's not to love? -1 to hit makes this slightly, you know, less tempting, as it means you will be hitting, or you know, when you hit roll 2s, you will miss and you can't re-roll them. And if you watched any of our battle reports, you know my absolute love for rolling 2s. Overall, I think this is a better option than the Hellforged Sword. Being able to wound better plus an extra AP is pretty important if you're going to hunt down tough targets. This is probably the better option. Add in some more buffs and it can tear chunks out of heavy units. However, there will be that one game where you roll all 2s to hit and you will curse the day you ever listened to me about taking a Demonic Axe, but you can't say I didn't warn you. So yeah, out of them I definitely prefer Malefic Talons. I just like more attacks and there's great ways to keep that going. Warp Bolter. I don't personally take these very often, and I won't lie, it's mainly because I forgot they were an option 8th. But you know what, for their points they're not bad. I do usually advance first turn with Daemon Prince, but being able, as they are assault weapons, it's not actually bad, because I think you still, you know, when you're shooting it, hit on 3s, rerolling 1s. If you advance, if you don't, it's even better. Might kill a target or 2, or strip a few points, a few guys off the field. Remember, it is damage too. If you're struggling for points truly, yeah, maybe drop it, but if it's not that too expensive, so yeah, it might be something worth thinking. If I could only remember to bring it in a battle report. I'm pretty sure David, every time I feel Daemon Prince, goes, "Did you bring a Warp Bolter?" And I go, what am I like? So let's go into artifacts. Now this is kind of important because artifacts, there's a few options for Daemon Prince and some of them are stellar. Let's start with probably the one that most people like. Intoxicating Elixir. Slaanesh mod only, add 1 to the bearer's strength and attack characteristic. So I'd be remiss if I did not talk about this relic in Daemon Prince's. Oh man, it is beyond tragic that this can't be used for Daemon Princes in general because it'd almost be used every time. Adding an extra attack is important, really nice, but adding that extra strength, bringing you to that all-important strength 8, along with Malefic Talons, means you're going to get 8 strength 8 attacks, hit on 2s, rerolling 1s, and potentially wounding most infantries on 2s. Yeah, awesome if you're Slaanesh and you've got a Daemon Prince all the way. That is awesome. I like that one a lot. It's a shame I don't play Slaanesh very often. Flesh Metal Exoskeleton, Iron Warrior models only. The bearer of the Flesh Metal Exoskeleton has a 2-up save characteristic. Very nice. In addition, this model heals 1 wound at the start of each of your turns. So this is a bit more of the survival model. 2+ is usually not possible for Daemon Princes, so it will shrug off more wounds, and better yet, recover some. I like this if you take a Malefic Talon Daemon Prince, 1 because I'm biased towards Malefic Talons. I find if you're going to go after units of small, possibly elite stuff, if you're flying in, you have the mobility to hunt stuff down. It also means that if you know, you're going to survive a little bit more, but it means if you've got like Bolter Overwatch coming at you, and maybe not great striking back, you know, they're not great to take you on, but they want to try and overwatch you. 3+ save is not ideal, but a 2+ save means you're just going to be shrugging off more, as well as the extra wound, which will give you 9 wounds, which is pretty awesome. Last is the Talisman of Burning Blood, core model only. The bearer of the Talisman of Burning Blood can advance and charge in the same turn. Furthermore, the bearer can reroll failed charge rolls. So yeah, if you're going down the Daemon Prince of Khorne, and I won't lie, I struggle to justify it with only getting +1 attack. does not make up for losing the psychic offensive and defensive bonuses. Just my opinion. This is a really good relic to get where a Daemon Prince needs to be, they need to be in combat. This will help you get there. So does warp speed. But hey, we're not talking about that, we're talking about Khorne. The danger is you jump too far forward and then get riddled with bullets. At least you have the reroll charge. Honestly, not sold on Daemon Princes. Prove me wrong, let me know. Let me know. Legion traits. So Legion traits are fun, as we know. And you know who else finds it fun? Daemon Princes. Because with the errata, they now enjoy them too. Good times, they enjoy a few, so let's go into a few examples. Renegade Chapters, Dark Raiders. This allows a unit with this trait to advance and charge in the same turn. If you're running a Renegade Chapter, I pretty much always run a Daemon Prince with them. Being able to move, charge, then warp time, then move, advance, then warp time, move, advance, and charge. Good times to be had with this combination. Usually this means giving up demonic strength, denying you that extra strength. However, you can be a Slanesh demon of Renegades. Get the elixir because you don't need to be Emperor's children to get it, and do all types of dangerous stuff. So yeah, if you are going to go a Daemon Prince of Renegades, think about being Slanesh, because getting to that important strength 8 with 8 attacks, and you get to advance and charge, and possibly warp time, advance and charge. Whew, that's a lot of fun. Alpha Legion, hidden in plain sight. Your opponent must subtract 1 from hit rolls that target units with this trait if you're more than 12 inches away. So usually characters don't need to worry about being targeted. The Daemon Princes being very mobile, big danger to your opponent. They may try and drop stuff in and target them with heavy weapons and turn them essentially into dust before you get close. -1 10 will help help your backline. If you've got like Havocs and things in the back, then firepower going to them, it's going to hit them more. But it adds a bit more survival to the Daemon Prince, though 90% of the time you're probably going to want your Daemon Prince well within 12 inches of your opponent anyway. But in case they try and target them turn 1 and they're out with that 12 inches, it's not going to happen. Well, it might, but it's character as well, so you can't target it. Emperor's Children, Flawless Perfection. Units with this trait always fight first in the fight phase, even if they didn't charge. I think I wrote charge phase there, but it's meant to be the fight phase. If the enemy has units that have charged or that have a similar ability, then alternate choosing units to fight with, starting with the player whose turn is taking place. So this is more of a defensive move in many ways. You may be facing a drop heavy or charge heavy force. They may want to smash your Daemon Prince apart as quick as possible. I'm looking at you, Thunderhammer Terminators, and several other units before you can go. Well, now you need to think carefully about this, because you may charge in several dangerous units, and then you go, right, okay, well I get to attack everything first, so it doesn't really matter what order it is. Well, with this it does, because the Daemon Prince might go, oh, you forgot to fight me first, well I'm gonna fight you first and tear you apart. Just works to make your opponent have to think a little bit cleverer about what fight they want to start with. Start with the Daemon Prince, because if you let that Daemon Prince go first, it's going to hurt. I mean, it's Emperor's Children, so expect that relic on it, and maybe a Malefic Talons, and it's going to be tearing people apart. Night Lords, Terror Tactics. Models in the enemy unit must subtract 1 from leadership characteristic for each unit with this trait that is within 6 inches of theirs, to a maximum of -3. I had to add this in here because Daemon Princes are meant to be scary. It also, with their mobility, you did take wings, didn't you? Yeah, you did. So along with Warp Talons dropping in and ripping stuff apart, scaring your opponent, it can be a lot of fun. I'd love to have a Night Lord army with like loads of Warp Talons and Daemon Princes dropping in from the sky and just... Yeah, I like Night Lords, and I think this one's a cool option. I think it's very difficult to work out Terror Tactics to its full potential, but if you are very clever, it can be devastating, taking away so much morale, and then all you need to do is cause your opponent to fail a wee bit, and it'll be a sad day for them. unless they're running hordes, then they might not care. Warlord traits. Alrighty, so I've been looking forward to this part a lot. Warlord traits, well, yeah, because if you ain't going to be using a special character as a Warlord, it's likely the majority, in my experience, I have my Daemon Prince as the Warlord. Why? Because it hits hard, it can take a hit, and it's got good mobility. You did give it wings. Yeah. So, what Warlord traits work quite well for a Daemon Prince? Flames of Spite. If the wound roll for a melee weapon attack made by your Warlord is 6+, it inflicts 1 mortal wound on the target in addition to any other damage. So I really like this a lot on Daemon Princes, with the Malefic Talons, gives you a lot of chances with attacks to cause further mortal wounds. It really is very dangerous as you do your normal damage and more. This pays off dividends if you are facing Imperial units, because then you can rack up attacks from Death to the False Emperor, but if you're not playing against Imperials, there may be different options that you might get more benefit from, but certainly with Death to the False Emperor and any sort of buffs you can give, it can be quite dangerous. Unholy Fortitude. Add 1 to the wound characteristics of your Warlord. In addition, roll a d6 for each time your Warlord loses a wound, and a roll of a 6, the Warlord shrugs it off the damage and does not lose the wound. Daemon Princes track danger, so having an extra wound and possible recover another one is good. With the Exoskeleton, this results in a fairly survivable Daemon Prince. So if you're going Iron Warriors, if you're thinking, I might want to survive more, this is how you tank it up. Hatred Incarnate. You can reroll wound rolls of 1 for attacks made by your Warlord. Simply effective. This is maybe more preferable than Unholy Fortitude if you're not against Imperials. You're going to be hitting on 2+ rerolls unless you have the Axe, where even then you're going to be wounding on average about a 3+, so rerolls is very handy. Again, nice on Malefic Talons. Now I do stress it's kind of important to get to that strength 8 if possible. Having this mitigates it a wee bit, but it means you're kind of hitting on 2s, rerolling 1s, and then if you manage to buff you up a wee bit, you might be wounding on 2s, rerolling 1s. Damage, damage, damage. And then we have Emperor's Children. Stimulated by Pain. Add 1 to your Warlord's attack characteristics for each wound he has suffered to a maximum of 3+. If your Warlord heals any wounds, he loses the associated bonus attacks. So awesome again. Emperor's Children / Slaanesh is awesome. After a few wounds, an Elixir, and Malefic Talons, maybe Diabolic Strength later on, we'll talk about that. It gives you at this point, you know, if you've taken the wounds, the Elixir, and Malefic Talons, 11 attacks at strength 8. You know, and as I said with Diabolic Strength, 12 attacks at strength 10. I'm pretty sure my math is right in that. 7 normally, +3, plus your Intoxic. Yeah, it's awesome. Diabolic indeed. Ooh. I don't think we'll see another Slaanesh Daemon Prince like this for a while. It is really nice. Psychic abilities. Daemon Princes of Zine, Schnurgle and Slaanesh are Psychers with 1 psychic power from Dark Recticus, and you can deny 1 as well. Khorne, you get an attack. Not a good trade at all. So there are 2 main powers to choose from as I find here. There is a 3rd one you can maybe go into. Diabolic Strength. Warp Charge 6. Select a Heretic Stars model within 12 inches of the Psyker. Until the next Psychic phase, add 2 to the model's strength and 1 to the model's attack characteristic. Awesome. It's really hard to decide between this and Warp Time, quite frankly. This makes the Daemon Prince vastly stronger to a mighty strength 9, which is awesome, and an extra attack. This is sort of my favourite power for Daemon Prince. Certainly with strength, it just boosts you up in power quite significantly. However, Warp Time, Warp Charge 6. Pick a Heretic Stars unit within 3 inches of the Psyker. This unit can immediately move as if it were the movement phase. So this is how you get a Daemon Prince into charge turn 1, or at least in place for stuff turn 1. With wings, this is terrifying. You really need to decide between mobility and power here. It's a tough call here, and I have a stratagem to help you decide between it. but really you've got to choose in the mobility of warp time, which can essentially get you turn 1 charge quite easily, or Diabolic Strength, which will give you a lot more damage. I'll help you with some stuff in that one. One I would add here, I didn't really actually add to my prepared list, is Death X. Death X has a warp charge value of 8. If manifested, select a visible enemy unit within 12 inches of the Psyker. Until the start of your next Psyker phase, that unit cannot take invuln saves. That's how you deal with Thunderhammer Storm Shields, or Storm Shields in general. Being able to remove invulns is pretty awesome. Do I think it is going to be better than Diabolic Strength? I'd personally try and pick off Thunderhammer Storm Shields with something else, because if any of them survive, they will crunk down a Daemon Prince if given half a chance. So I would go, you know, I like Daemon Prince more target sort of flanking units and things, so yeah, Death X is a good option for there as well. But Diabolic Strength to me is the way forward. However, to give you some options though, we'll go into the Stratagems. Now, what was tricky for Stratagems for me with the Daemon Prince is that a lot of the Chaos Stratagems rely on either being a vehicle for quite a few of them, maybe a demon vehicle, or you need to be infantry or a biker of some sort. Not much for, you know, monsters. You know, as far as I could tell, there was only really one of specific note, but it does work, except for Khorne. Chaos Familiar, 1 command point. Use this stratagem at the start of your psychic phase. Select a friendly Heretic Star Psyker. That model can replace any of its psychic powers with a power of your choice from the deck Dark Hereticus Discipline. Yep, so this is how you're gonna, you know, leave warp time once you're in your opponent's face and switch to Diabolic Strength. Sure, okay, you're not going to benefit from both at the same time from a single Daemon Prince, but it means future options are open. One thing I will know, and I'm not 100% on this, but I'm like 90% sure you can. Please comment below to let me know if you can do this. But you can drop Smite. Drop Smite, take Diabolic Strength, warp time, Diabolic Strength, go nuts. Yep. Let me know if that, but it doesn't say which psychic ability. It says you can place any psychic powers, and you know, in no Smite, the Smite psychic power, so I would drop that and have warp time and Diabolic Strength and smash into stuff, and then watch all the heavy firepower in the world target your Daemon Prince next turn. But you know what, I had a lot of fun. You know, that's what I would do. So yeah, that's my review on the Daemon Prince. Do I think it's an awesome unit? Absolutely. Does it have a lot of utility? Yep. Is it as much as a murder monster as it was in 7th? I would say no, but we did get kind of dark with Daemon Princes then, with some relics that they could use then. So I still think it's an absolute solid unit, a very good HQ, where we sometimes lack sort of other HQs that feel a bit unique. Daemon Prince is certainly unique, and it really does add something to Chaos that I really, really enjoy. So if you enjoyed, please comment, share, like and subscribe. Please comment below on this one. I love to hear stories about Daemon Princes tearing people apart. I've killed quite a few characters, especially Imperium ones with Daemon Princes, and it's been awesome. So I love to hear what your favourite loadouts are, how you use them, and epic tales. That'd be really, really good. Or if I got anything wrong, let me know. That's also awesome. Check us out on social media and Patreon, where we put up a bunch of projects of things we're working on, and on Patreon we do some extra service stuff because you give us support, which is always nice, which we absolutely appreciate, and it helps us expand our channel. So thanks again, and we'll see you on another Tabletop Assault Battle Report.